the clairvoyance of being press is limited, and so we rely on press releases. And I think the first sign that clairvoyance is not in our nature is the fact that the site is currently down at the moment. The site is down at the moment due to webmaster things. Chris is trying to sort it out at the moment. But that doesn't mean I can't get to press releases, because I still can get to Games Press. One to start off with would be one that I know I did get on email, because this is from Focus Home, and it's about the Skulls for the Skull Throne special event that's going on at the moment and through the weekend. A weekend-long event during which the games for the Warhammer world and the Warhammer 40k universe are enjoying the time-limited discounts and Steam things and special things, and it's basically the Warhammer games, both Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40k, are currently having deals and special events and things all over Steam. And the reason why Focus Home sent one out is they have published 3 of them. That is Space Hulk Deathwing, which I have reviewed, and I need to go back to as well, because the problem I had was their service. Blood Bowl 2 and Battlefield Gothic Armada. Out of the 3 of them, I would say go for Battlefield Gothic Armada. They also have DLC as well. And those 3 titles there, as they say right at the very, very bottom, are 75% off for 4 days. From yesterday, from today, from... It's a weekend sale. It's a long weekend sale, and 75% off a lot of these games. I had a look on Steam to see what games are on the sale, because they have a Steam special page for it, and it's pretty much everything. It's Deathwing, Blood Bowl, Battlefield Gothic, Dawn of War 3, Vermintide. It's literally everything. All of the contemporary Warhammer games, and when I say contemporary ones, I mean like Dawn of War 1 and 2. It's not on the list entirely, I think. I don't know. I couldn't see them, but it's basically all of the modern Warhammer games are now on sale for the weekend. So if you haven't got Dawn of War 3, which I think you should, or Battlefield Gothic Armada, which I think you should, then good time to buy them. And then there's a 2-parter where this is also where the problem where me not being able to get to my emails kind of arises, because I have the press release for one of them on here and a press release for the other via email. So I can get to one of the press releases, not both, but I want to talk about both, because they're both about Atari. For the press release that's on Games Press, which I can get to, it is, as they say here, Atari announces Blade Runner 2049 partnership with NECA and AudioWare, launching wearable technology that blurs fashion future. Woo! Basically, Atari are releasing tech fashion wearables. Sort of tech wearable things. It's they're going to be doing a big thing about it, as they say here. It's they're going to be doing a big thing of unveiling a lot of them at San Diego Comic-Con. So yeah, it's probably going to be more stuff talked about, or going to be talked about probably in much more depth at Comic-Con in San Diego. They spent a lot of time at the beginning of the release going, oh look, yeah, Atari is great, and Atari is great. They're one of the godfathers of the gaming industry, so I'll give them that at least. And this is a paid promotional tie-in. Atari probably has some sort of paid advertisements in the new Blade Runner movie, Blade Runner 2049. It's probably got some paid advertisements in there. They had before. Atari did the Blade Runner game way back yonder. In the original one, I think they did the official one. It's 30 years ago now, so before I was born, so I'm allowed to not remember. But the fashion wearable thing that they talk about at the beginning is the speaker hat, which, as they say here, is a baseball-style cap with high-fidelity stereo speakers and a microphone that can connect instantly to any Bluetooth-enabled device, enabling phone calls, audio music, voice control, blah, 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 blah. And this is what they look like. It literally is just a baseball cap with speakers on the brim. That's it. It's just that. It's... yeah, it's... This is the kind of point where my excitement for this sort of starts to just nosedive extremely quickly. Because, as they go on to say, after the words I said before, the patented speaker hat combined with multiplayer mode will enable multiple speaker hat users to simultaneously listen to a single audio stream in perfect synchronization, a fundamentally new social audio experience. Social audio... I use public transport a lot. And the idea of a social audio experience does not fill me with cheer. It fills me with ire and contempt. But then there's the whole NECA. The NECA is a model figurine lot things they make. I had a look at the website. They make really good figurines. It's really fascinating good figurines. They do a lot of figurines for the other companies like Marvel and Ash vs Evil Dead and all of those ones. They do sort of the movable figurine things. It's really good. So that one is something that's going to be probably more interesting to a bunch of people. The fact that you can now blare music out of your bloody hat is probably not going to interest that many people. But the fact that you can get very well crafted, very well painted figurines of all of the Blade Runner stuff through Atari is I think that is probably going to intrigue people more. And then the press release that I don't have access to, but I have read, but I don't have access to use as I can't use as reference, is the Atari box. It's Atari's console. Atari have been talking about this new console since E3, since around E3, and they've officially had words and said things. Not much, generally fuck all, but they have said something. Using trusted reviews as a reference, because I can't get to my release. This is what the Atari box looks like. It looks like a 2600, kinda. It kinda has the same style as the sort of 2600 and the old Atari ones. It's got these sort of rimmed sort of top with the orange side is also sort of, it can be wood paneling. I'm guessing just vinyl. Then there's also lots of ports to it, that being SD card ports, HDMI ports, and USBs. As expected, it's going to be a fucking PC in the box console thing, so it's going to have HDMI and USBs. But then there comes the crucial point of what can you play on the thing. At the moment, they have been fairly stum. Really, they haven't really said that much around it, which is kind of understandable, and also I kind of think this is quite early in development. When I say early, I mean early in development. It's gone through stages, but sort of where the final ending point for the console they haven't really worked out yet is my guess. Because as the Trusted Reviews article says, Atari CEO Fred Chen has confirmed that the decision to make and develop a new console was inspired by the success of the NES Mini, keeping this in mind that the Atari box will be reasonably priced and be used to play classic games. And then the rumour mills went into full swing, and then the title of Atari is releasing a console kind of gained its own traction, and then people started going, it's Atari's making a brand new proper console. And no, I don't think so. No. Atari has left the console business a long time ago. They spent 10 years fucking it up. And the era of the 2600 is considered one of the death knells of the gaming industry. I think Atari is wise to stay out of the contemporary gaming market. And by that I mean they're not going to make a console to try and compete with the PS4, the Xbox One, or anything else like that. If they do, I'm going to be astounded, because they're going to be going into the market arse first. This is part of the reason why I think this connects a fair bit to the story I said on Tuesday about the all-in-one console I talked about on Tuesday console, this all-in-one retro console by Retro Remakes. That a lot of these older companies are still about, like Atari and Sega and all of them, and a lot of them have either teamed up with other companies, like Sega has teamed up with Nintendo to release the old games, but it's now got to a point where some of the much older guard, like Atari, have now got to a point where they can start making their own retro consoles. Not a proper console to release, but a retro box console, like the Spectrum DX that came out a while ago, or is going to the ZX Spectrum retro console that got kickstarted. There's a market for these retro consoles, and Atari has noticed it, and Atari is one of the granddaddies of the gaming industry, and it also owns stuff like the old Williams stuff. Atari is probably just going into this having a PC in a box retro console thing to sell, perhaps with a digital infrastructure to sell stuff online to downloads or subscriptions or something. Atari's got to sell something somehow, so I'm guessing there's going to be some sort of paid service or something. And then, as two quick stories to finish off that, well, kind of quick-ish stories. The first one is the Pokemon story, the Pokemon Go story, where Pokemon Go is getting a big update. And when I say an update, I mean a fucking party! They've already brought in the Gen 2 stuff, and now they're bringing in the legendaries. Legendary birds, so it's, Lucia, I think it's Lucia? The Pokemon 2000 one. Big bird, the one before the NKs and other ones. Yeah, so it's the Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres. I am going to guess Mew and Mewtwo as well. I don't know if they're already out, but they're considered some of the legendaries, because the legendaries are kind of all spanning these days, because you have the 3 legendary birds in the original, and then you have Mewtwo, Mew, and then you have the Lucia or Luciano, or the big blue bird, the big white sort of thing that's in the trailer. That's from the Pokemon movie 2000. That's from the Golden, Silver, Crystal Age. But then there's also the legendary dogs, which is NK and another one. NK was the one that I got in Crystal. So that's why I know of that one. The legendaries are going to be coming in through essentially raids. They're going to appear on maps at the gym locations, as they say in the release. Sorry, it's the birds. The eggs are going to appear at gyms. People descend on the gym, dogpile on the legendary, and then where the legendary is defeated, eeny, meeny, miny, moes of who gets a legendary or not. They say earn a chance to catch it, so I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be a percentage marker or anything. I don't know. It's a mobile game. They have a tendency to be meh. But also, on top of this, and why I say it's going to be a full-fledged party, is that Nintendo and Pokemon Company and Niantic are going to be having live-action events, sort of real-life festival party things in real life, in celebration of this big update thing for various things. The first one is going to be Pokemon Go Fest at Chicago in Grant Park on July 22nd, so tomorrow at Grant Park there's going to be big party thing where the first legendary Pokemon is going to go bing, so it's probably going to be Lucia, or the Pokemon 2000 one is probably going to be the one to come out. But then, as they say, in the last substantial paragraph for it, in addition to this Pokemon Go for Chicago, trainers in Europe can also look forward to Pokemon Go Safari Zone events hosted across Europe through August and September in partnership with Uniball Ronimaro shopping centres. And having a look at the shopping centres they own, none of them are in England. Bastards. Also, on top of that, a unique Pokemon Go experience will appear at the Pikachu Outbreak in Yokohama. So Yokohama is going to get its own thing. So basically, in Chicago in Grant Park, tomorrow is going to be legendary Pokemon. If everyone through the big event thing that's going to go on tomorrow manages to defeat the legendary Pokemon of tomorrow, that's going to go wee everywhere and get released everywhere. And fanciness, and then the first legendary Pokemon is going to be released to the world. And then there's going to be the Safari Zone events going all across Europe through a partnership thing with a shopping centre chain, shopping mall. It's a mall to all the American people's the shopping centres. And Yokohama is going to have a special Pikachu thing where, I don't know, Pikachus with hats. And then the last small release to talk about is something that just interests me and probably no one else, and it's the Call of Duty Zombies. Sadly, it is not to announce Call of Duty Zombies has become it's a standalone game. Yes, Activision, I will complain until you do that. And it was the general announcement for the Zombies mode. They said at E3 they're going to be spending a lot more time talking about the Zombies mode thing, saying, oh look, it's going to be fancy, everyone loves the Zombies mode. Prefer it as a standalone game. Shut up. And while at San Diego Comic-Con, they showed off all the stars that have it, and they've managed to pull another blinder and managed to have big listed stars to be characters and stuff in it. That including David Tennant, Edley Young, Catherine Winnick, Yudo Kia, and Ving Remes. I'm probably the only one that really cares like that strictly over the Zombies mode this much. But it's the sort of thing where I hate the Call of Duty games with such fervour, then it's it's the only gem in the Call of Duty franchise for the past 8 years now. Jesus fucking Christ. It's, for the past 8 or near a decade now, it's been the only sort of glint of actual gemness, of actual good game that I've actually liked in the entire bloody thing. I don't like Call of Duty. And so that's it for today's Press Rush. It's a bit more ramshackle. It's usually a lot more colourful, because I usually have... The Friday show is usually when I have a lot of press releases via email, because I usually get them around the Wednesday, like I did for the Atari stuff. That was embargoed until yesterday. But can't get to it today. If you enjoyed the episode, please do consider subscribing and sharing the video around. And I will see you on Tuesday for the next Press Rush.